Good evening, guys. Welcome to Are You Brave Enough? I'm Amy, your host for the night. Tonight, Kerry and Jasmine are doing an investigation at a secret location. Can you guess where it is? Tonight, I'm joined in the studio with Dan. So, if you've got any questions, if you know where the location is, please tell us. And if you could share and bump up those hearts and give us those likes, we would be greatly appreciative. And don't forget, after the show, join Trudy on Trudy Psychic Tarot Kent. Right, let's get on with the show. Let's bring the guys on. Right, let's find them all. Got that many screens today. Hello.
Evening.
Evening.
Hello.
Hello. How are you all?
Very good. Very excited. Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. Without telling people where you are, can you tell us a bit about the location?
Well, we're somewhere in Sussex, and that's all you're going to get.
Well, as good as that then. So,
a bit, let's be honest. I mean, it could have been anywhere in the UK. We've got Sussex.
You've got Sussex, you have the county.
Yeah.
We're very lucky.
absolutely. So, what are you going to be doing tonight then, girls?
Well, we've actually got a laptop set up, so we've got a static of part of where we are. We're going to do some walking around, but we've also got 4 K2 meters on. One of them's actually died already. It's been drained. It was one of the new ones today, and that's died within 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
With the new batteries?
Yeah, it's all set up, all new, and that's just died. We've also got the eye ovulus on the iPad, so we'll be using that, and we've got our Ouija board.
Yeah. There's a little bit of an echo going on, so you're not too close to each other, are you?
Well, no, Jazz is over the other side of a wall. He's right over there.
Okay then. Right. So, what are you going to do now then?
So, what I thought we would do to start with is get the eye ovulus on. And because we've had some good words coming off of that already, which might help people to kind of guess where we are or even age where we are. So we thought we'd start that first. And then hopefully our guests watching will be able to pick some stuff up and give Dan a job.
Absolutely.
Right. Dan, do you want to do your...
Yeah.
So it's quite a big space where we are. It looks like we're just in the middle of a green, but there is actually a lot of old castle walls around, which is a clue. But that is literally all you're going to get.
Okay, and it's going on when you are ready. I hope everybody can hear it.
Oh. Mark Lawrence says Rye Castle.
No.
Nope.
Nope. That's in. Oh no, that's Cheston border, isn't it? Right, it's the border of Sussex, Kent. So good shout, but no. What words are you picking up, Jazz?
So far, I've got her.
Her.
Yeah.
Sugar.
And sugar.
Sugar.
Okay.
But then that's quite a good word because that was a commodity back in the day. So that's one to use.
Constant.
Get that?
Constant. Now, could constant be a name or could it mean something else?
Wow. I thought Constance was the name,
Constance,
wasn't it? Yeah. What was that one, Dad?
While and milk.
Ricky wants to know if you're in. No, I've got the wrong one. Are you in Hastings?
No, we are not.
Yep. And Willie says he's getting the name Harriet.
Rent.
That would be something for Dan.
Yeah.
Swell.
I will have a look for Harriet. I am just looking for Constance, actually,
Thought.
which, ironically, does have some connection.
No!
I swear. I actually swear. So,
No way!
I swear. So I found a paper for an archaeologist who had been doing some research around that area. And Lady Constance Louise Smith was a connection to the kind of area at the time, the archaeology work that had been going on in the location. So, yeah.
Did you get
Wow.
that? The obelisk has just thrown up memories.
Wow. Isabella says, are you near a farm?
We are, because we are in the middle of Sussex Farm country down this way.
Black. Herd. Brad.
Roy Roberts has got horses for some reason, William too. So, horses and William.
Horses, William, and we had Harriet earlier as well, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Lagoon.
Lagoon.
If anybody has any questions for the Ovilus, please
Right.
write them in the comments and we'll let Kerry and Jasmine know.
Thing.
Lynn's put big black horse and a name, James.
Pine.
And
Right.
Ant wants to know, are you anywhere near Lewes?
That's pronounced Lewis.
Royce.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, that's pronounced Lewis. And we aren't
Not
that
really,
close,
no.
actually.
Spring.
Ricky wants to know if you've anywhere near a battlefield.
Valley.
We would have been, yes. There would have been battles going on.
And Laura Hawkins says Bodiam Castle.
No.
not Podium.
Roy is seeing
No.
water.
That would make sense,
Yeah.
because that's something that both myself and Jazz picked up on our walk round a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
There isn't anything obvious
There.
now around the castle, but there is what looks like a moat. There's also a really good waterway that runs down the side, which is water.
Which?
Does look like there was a moat here once upon a time.
Percent.
Shell Buckley's put our field druids and pagans.
We also
Yes.
picked that up the last time we were here.
Yeah.
And there's a particular area of where we are where there's a tree
Quarantine.
that we feel that people would have been persecuted for having their different beliefs.
And the
Okay.
obelisk has just thrown up the word witch.
There we go.
And Lynn Bishop said the horse has some sort of armour on it.
Static.
Lynn, there is some relevance to a horse here. Some stuff that I was looking into earlier. Did you say black horse was what you were seeing?
She did say a black
It was
horse,
black
yes.
horse, wasn't it? Yeah, there's some stories around horses, which is interesting. So if you're continuing to film more stuff around that, that would be interesting.
Yeah, she put black horse and the name James.
James is really relevant. I think Willie said William earlier on as well, didn't he? I'm sure that name came up earlier on.
It did come up by someone. I know he said Harriet, but I don't know about William as well.
I'm looking in the Harriet bit now. I'm just doing a bit more digging because there is a connection. I just want to make sure it's relevant and it's not just
Okay.
come up because of the location.
Yeah, and
So
Denise has said Jeffrey.
Alright. Doctor.
Mark Lawrence thinks you've been New Avon Fort.
No.
Girl.
He'd recognise that place from my camera angles if that's where we were.
Yeah. Julie's put moat. Anita has put Pevensey Castle.
Not
Pevensey Castle, no, not that
Yeah.
one. Although it would be lovely to get there at some point.
Yeah, we'd love that.
Yeah. Sean asked, "Are you in a village?" And that was by Tony Odger.
Well, yes, it is a village.
Kansas.
We're kind of set above it, but yes, it's in a village setting.
Would there have been a drawbridge at the location? Says Emily.
Grandmother.
Once upon a time, there would have been. Once it sort of changed from the original form. The original form, sorry, would have had one. What you see now doesn't.
Ant wants to know, were people thrown into the moat?
Veronica. Girl.
That's something Jazz could answer because
Right.
when we were here, she actually did have the feeling of people drowning.
Yes, that was on the walk
Okay.
around a few weeks ago.
Factories.
Here's an interesting one. Emily says, "I feel drawn to those trees for some reason."
Which ones? The ones
I think
on the
it's the
static computer
I think it's the one behind Jasmine. I think.
What, over there?
Right.
over this side.
Yeah. That's what I think because they're the only trees I could see.
Well, that would make sense because I don't know. No one's picked it up yet, but that would be the original form over behind us.
Yeah. Sean wants to know, are you in village battle?
No,
Nope.
And then Anita has put near Chichester Roman.
no.
And a lot of
No, not
people
very
are
fun.
mentioning the word witch.
Yep. Jags Ovulus went off and did say the word
It did
witch.
say witch.
We
Did.
also, before we came on, I was talking to you about a particular area here and what we'd picked up before. But it's quite a comfortable location. There's different quarters. The front quarter on the right hand side is quite jovial, and then the further back you get, the more oppressive it gets. There's lots of different feelings at this place.
Laura wants to know, are you at Bramber Castle?
Who wants to answer that one? Yes, we are. That's exactly where we are.
Well done, Laura.
Well done, Laura.
You did it. Well done. 14 minutes in and you've done it. Well done.
Nice one, Laura. Well done.
Yes, we are at Bramber Castle. We've got this part here, which is me and Jazz were both drawn to this when we first came. We didn't understand it to start with, why it was in the middle, but the more we've spent time here, the more we've understood. I'm not going to give too much else away. I would like people to still keep guessing about what might have happened here and stuff like that. But yeah, well done. 14 minutes in and you've got it.
Amy says, have you ever had spirits or anything follow you home? I haven't personally, so
No, not personally.
no.
I've only ever had what I take with me come back. Sometimes you do get the residual from where you've been, and it's tiring, and it's it knocks you out for a few days. But once you rinsed off, had a shower, and had a cup of tea and stuff like that, that residual energy does leave you. But it's never anything that can actually stay with you permanently.
No. Chloe Needham says, would there have been witchcraft or pagan ceremonies there? I think we've had that already.
We
did have
believe
that.
there would have been, yeah.
And Ricky was confirming that, just heard that on the spirit box.
Okay, well done, Ricky.
There was Emily. You mentioned about possible executions earlier. Do you want what are you feeling there? It'd be good to know what you're getting because there's some stuff that I've got, but I don't want to give it away just yet until we got a bit more detail. There's a specific story that's quite interesting. around someone dying here, but not in that way. So I'd love to hear what you're feeling to get a bit more info on that.
Well, both myself and Jazz have had this feeling of falling, but not. It's not kind of. It's been because of just sheer desperation, and I feel like they've taken their own life because that's the only way out. And that's my personal feeling for that one. I don't know what Jazz felt, but she also did feel, didn't you? The falling.
Yeah.
Roy's saying stabbings as well.
Well, quite possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The castle, if I go down this way, I'll try not to bother Jazz with the echo too much. If I come down this way, there's not much castle left. It is pretty much ruins. You can't really see the river, but if I put my phone down this way, they would have had a big climb to try and get to the actual castle. So we felt here that there would have been people coming along the river, which you can't quite see in the background, coming across ground, coming up. And then the obelisk did give us dabbing, arrow, buoy, pot, oil, and things like that. So there's lots of words here that could quite possibly. There would have been battles here. There would have been stabbings, basically.
Yeah. Lynn says the horse belonged to someone of importance.
Mm-hmm.
That's something again for the studio to
check out.
Yeah.
Check out for us.
Yeah.
I would say back in the day, a big black horse would have given someone status, definitely.
The story isn't about a black horse. There is a story about a horse there. So there is some relevance to the horse. It's not black in colour, but there is definitely relevance to that horse and lots of activity around it. So it's a good job picking it up. Be good to hear what else you're feeling around it, if there's any names or anything as well.
Yeah. Ant's getting a priest standing near you. I don't know which one of you it's standing near, but it's standing near one of yous.
Okay.
Yeah, Ant, is that myself or is that Jazz that you're picking that up near?
Kay John also says monks. She's getting
That's
monks.
interesting.
And Isabella Fellow says, does Auric mean anything?
Studio?
Let me have a look. I haven't seen anything because I've been trailing through, but I'll continue to search. Bear with me.
Lynn Richbell says grandmother was just said.
The obelisk also picked that up, so that could be relevant.
Yeah. Carl, they've not. I don't think they've near the Battle of Hastings.
No, nowhere near,
no.
unfortunately.
Not near the Battle of Hastings, but this location does have relevance to the Battle of Hastings because I read that earlier. So there is a connection to the Battle of Hastings. Let me see if I can find it again. Bear with me because I did read that earlier because I thought, oh, that's interesting.
And Veronica, Anita said she heard as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Laura.
One.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Laura says, I'm picking up on a lady who was a cook or a maid to a wealthy family.
Well, we have picked up a lady here, haven't we? So that could have some connection to her.
This could be interesting. Willie has put, I'm getting the image of someone hanging from a stone wall.
We'll come to that Willie's story in a second because there is relevance to that, and it's a semi-connection, but I'll go into it. The Battle of Hastings. So this was built just after the Battle of Hastings, which is where that connection came from. So yeah, that's the connection to the Battle of Hastings, more the timing it came about as opposed to it specifically connecting to it. With the image of someone hanging from a stone wall. So there is a story that goes let me just find it again. So one of the original kind of residents of Bramber Castle was quite a jealous husband as he was. And as the kind of husband and wife got older, they kind of lost each other. So one of the people, Sir William de Linford, he had a horrible death. His death was to be basically he got built within a wall. So he was put in a location. The wall was built around him, and later on, when they've taken that wall down and found him, he was kind of crouched over in that, what you would, I guess, put as a kind of hanging, crouched over in that wall. So, yeah, Willie, that is a good pickup, mate, because that story is out there.
Well done.
Ricky says, did people get hung from those trees?
I don't know personally. I don't feel that they did in the trees that are behind us now. There is a particular tree which Jazz can go to, because I can't, unfortunately, because my laptop is bouncing off my hotspot. I can't go too far away.
I can show
But
them the
Jazz
tree.
can walk round to a
Yeah,
particular
I'll take
tree
a
that
walk.
we do think has got hangings associated with it.
I'll take a walk.
These trees behind me, when me and Jazz were both here last time, we just felt that there was a lot of pagan rituals going on inside there. We could see things tied to the tree that weren't there. We could sense music and like a large fire pit, people dancing. So that's more so what we get from the middle of the tree here. But the tree Jazz is just running around to, that's the one that we are very interested in. So maybe if you spend some time there, you'll be able to pick some things up over that way.
Yeah, I'm nearly out of the tree. It's a bit more of a walk than I thought.
Yeah, it's surprising how far away it is, actually.
And behind me there is the tree. And I don't know how well you can see it, but there is a branch and there's actually a rope hanging off it because someone had a swing on it at one point. But that's the tree. So, yeah.
Lynn says the name Arthur as well. And Julie's put getting ladies in waiting. And Emily's put a lot of deaths.
Yeah, definitely picking up on the
Definitely.
deaths over here. There's you do feel like there's a lot of blood spilt in or around
Yeah,
on the ground.
Definitely.
Ladies in waiting, it's a castle, so I would assume that they would be around as well.
Yeah.
Also, Laura says, I'm getting a sense of archers and archery during a battle, so...
Yeah, that's something that we both picked up on the last time we were
Yeah.
here. Because of the angle of the walls and the angle of the hill that this is on, you can definitely get that picture of people firing arrows down into people trying to storm the castle.
Yeah. Anita's asked, Kerry, you know when the word of witch came up on the Ovilus? Anita asked, Kerry, do they mean you as a witch, or do they mean the word as in witches were there?
They probably know that I'm a witch, and the priest, if Ant picked the priest up, it probably was with me, trying to get me to repent my sins, etc., etc. You do get, there is a real electric feeling where we are. You can feel the energies here, and I think that, especially when you do call yourself a witch, which I do, it's something that just sort of emanates out of you. So if there's anybody here like a priest that wouldn't like that, for example,
Yeah.
when I was at St. Augustine, they're going to come after me.
Roy's getting witch trials and sunking, and Lynn mentioned Arthur owned the horse.
So I've just walked down again. There's a couple of steps here that I've just come down, and I feel incredibly sick now I'm in this part. It's not a very big room, or wouldn't have been a very big room, but for whatever reason, right now I feel like I want to be sick.
Really?
Yeah.
Shell's put, weird, I have amphitheatre come to mind, maybe a display of disgrace or justice, etc.
my battery is being eaten alive.
Yeah, mine too.
Something is really draining me. So I will, if it goes, I'll just start taking the laptop round with me.
Yeah.
How much
It's
battery
even,
have you got left?
like
Eh?
30%, and it's eaten my charging port as well, which I brought with me.
Yeah, there's energy here that's just draining everything. What I might do is disconnect my hotspot. So I'm going to drop the laptop down. Yeah, I'm just going to do that quickly so that I've got. No, I'm afraid, people. I'll close that one off. I've got till 9:30. My phone just told me, based on my current usage. So that's all right. That will get us through the rest of the show. And I can walk around a lot more freely now.
So, do you want to tell us a bit what have you found, Dan?
I was just looking at Arthur.
Yes.
I think there's a couple of different people that have mentioned Arthur now.
Yeah.
And just found that Arthur. So let's go back to make sure we get the right people. So William de Braose was one of the kind of historical figures connected to this location. The King John I was someone who also resided in this location. When King Richard I sailed to France, they were fighting, they were having a disagreement. With Richard, so King Richard dead, his brother John seized the throne of England, though there was another heir, Arthur, Duke of Brittany, who was again connected around this location, and he basically took over the throne, but was held because he still had a valid claim to the throne as it was. He was then held, captured, and then suddenly kind of disappeared because he was handed over to William de Braose, who was the one of the owners way back when, wasn't heard from again, and they believe that King John and William may have had a personal hand in his death, and there's some tales later around exchanging money and kind of disagreements around money and how that was perceived. So Arthur would be a really relevant name that comes around there as well.
It appears that Kerry has frozen.
Oh, have I frozen? I'm
We
moving
can hear
around.
you. We can hear you, but your screen's frozen.
Oh. Hang on. I don't know why that is. I've got plenty of 4G and my battery's okay and my signal is okay. Am I moving now?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
No. That'd be a pretty picture then. That it stopped on, won't it?
It could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah, it could be me.
Isabella says the word legion comes to mind. Does it mean anything to you?
Yeah, you're still frozen. The only thing I know about that name isn't that the name's like a demon or something?
What,
Isn't there a
legion?
demon called Legion? Pretty sure there is.
Possibly. Also, Deeput feels like the lady of the castle was killed or died of unknown case.
Not sure.
The only lady that I've got is the falling one.
Okay.
Whether that means she was pushed, but I feel like that was more she took her own life, like out of despair.
Yeah. Emily has mentioned the name Matilda. And Julie has mentioned the name William. And Kay John has mentioned the name Andrew.
Matilda is a name relevant to this location. Absolutely. Well done. I'm just going back to try and find it. I've got like 6 million tabs open, so I'm just remembering where I saw it again.
Yeah. And Shell's mentioned Napoleon. Has that got any connections?
Find that one.
Ooh, that's going way back.
Yeah, that Robin's back, Kerry.
And was there a betrayal? Emily wants to know.
I would say that betrayal is where we were talking about the kings. that we were just talking about
Yeah.
before. Maybe that would be a betrayal. One person should be entitled to the throne. Someone else jumps in front of them and then sort of betrays them, gets rid of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Will's wife was Maud, or Matilda was also. So William de Braose, who was one of the owners of the lands. The same story that we connected before, where they were in collusion with the king. So yeah, that would be relevant.
Trudy says, really random, sorry, but can Danny research anything to do with 6 sticks? Not sure if it's a game or a place, or there are 6 particular sticks as relevant.
Yeah, looking for that. I'm still trying. In between everyone else's. I haven't forgot Trudy.
Right, the K2 keeps going off. I know
Okay.
you can't see me because I've frozen, and I've seen what it looks like. It's bloody awful.
Trust me, it could be a lot worse. It could be a hell of a lot worse. I've seen worse.
Oh, Kerry, it's not so bad.
So what we're going to do is we're going to try the Ouija board now with the K2 going off, and we're going to see how that goes.
Okay. If anyone has any questions for the Ouija board, that would be great. Stick them in the comments, and we'll ask the questions.
Get some energy in.
Okay, come on then. Please work this time.
While we're setting up, I'll go back to the ghost story about the horse.
Okay.
So there are several stories of a riderless white horse, which is why I was talking about the colour, seen on moonlit nights, galloping around the moat. Not sure of its origin. Could be the horse of a different William, but that has been spotted several different times around the area, and a lot of people have noticed it. So the horse would be relevant that we were picking up earlier on, although the colour may be slightly off.
Okay, so the Ouija board has come back with D and the number 8. We're not really sure what that could mean. What's D in Roman numerals? Any idea? Right, we're just going to ask, has anybody got any questions for the board? We've got it going.
Yes, Claire wants to know, were you wrongly accused?
Okay.
Okay.
To any spirits that are with us here, were you wrongly accused of a crime? Could you please answer? There's a yes and a no. Take the glass to yes or no. Okay, the glass is moving very slowly.
Could somebody show us the Ouija board, because we can't see the Ouija board?
I'm frozen.
I'm not sure there's an angle I'm going to be able to get my camera at, but I'll try.
The K2's going as well. So we hold it with this hand.
Okay.
Can you
The
see that?
K2's going over here. Right, I'll hold it.
There we go.
K2's going crazy here, look, you can see.
Okay.
So let's ask that. Can you see the Ouija board? Are we there? So were you
we can see it.
accused of anything? So the spirits that are around us right now, can you come and move this glass for us, please? Move the glass. Use our energy. Move the glass.
I have another question when you're ready.
K2 put into the glass.
Just get some energy in it.
Yeah.
Right, we're
Right.
just going to move it round and get some energy into the board. So this is
Okay.
us. Ready? Ooh, twisting. Try again. No, it's
No,
twisting.
still doing it.
Right. To the spirits that are here with us, if you can use our energy, move this glass, answer our questions. Were you wrongly accused of a crime? Answer yes. That's me. Or no. Sorry. Can you move the glass to yes or no for us, please? No movement, I'm afraid, on this at the moment.
Okay. I have another question. Are there any children there?
Yes. there are children there. Where did I see that earlier?
You're
Bear
not
with
supposed
me.
to say anything yet. I've got to ask
Oh,
the
am I
Ouija board
not?
first.
Oh, I thought you were asking me. No, there's no children.
We can ask the board, but
Yeah.
we did, just to put so Dan's off the hook, we did actually pick children up today
Yeah.
and the first time.
I'm going to get sacked, aren't
No, you're not.
I?
Right, let's
I love
let's
it.
ask the board anyway. Are there any children here with us? Let's play a game. Can you move the glass for us? You don't have to make any words. Just move the glass around the board if there are any children here with us. Really interesting.
Is there any movement in the glass?
No. The K2's working. Oh, it's gone now. But the K2's coming and going. Oh, there we go. But the glass is not moving, unfortunately.
1680.
Oh, I did then.
Right. Have you got movement yet?
Yeah, tiny little jolt then on the glass.
Okay. Isabella's asking, can you ask the spirit what his or her name is?
Could you
That's
please
providing they can
spell
spell.
your name for us? Use the glass and move it to the letters. Can you spell out your name for us, please? For the spirit that is here with us. Can you move the glass to spell out your name? No, the glass is absolutely stuck to the board at the moment. No movement in it at all.
Okay. Shell's saying, right, could you move the phone away from the K2 a minute? Because it could be your phone that's affecting the K2.
No, phone's in the same place. K2's now not working.
Someone said 1680 earlier. I'm still
Yeah, I've
searching just so I haven't forgot about that. Laura, I'm just trying to see what I can find around 1680. There's nothing jumping out at the moment. Trudy, I looked for Scarlet. There was a novel that was written on the kind of Bramber Castle, and one of the characters in that novel has the surname Scarlet, but I don't know if that's the connection you're getting. So I'm just having a look and seeing if I can find anything else around there at the same time. And I'm looking at 1724 now.
Right, are you girls still on the board?
Yeah, we're just trying to. I'm back now. Look, hello. And I'm just trying to get the board to go. Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's put some more energy in it.
Come on. Keeps twisting.
It does.
Well, we get that a lot at the centre.
Okay. The K2 is still going up. It's just going to the green now. The next light up.
Okay. Can you ask the board if anyone was tortured there?
Was anybody tortured here? If there are any spirits here that would like to talk to us, could you tell us if anybody was tortured here? Move towards the light for yes.
No.
Nothing. Not happy.
No, board's not working, I'm afraid.
It's not playing ball.
No.
Not playing ball.
Ricky says, if there's someone with you guys that's not happy, that you're there, so be careful.
Okay, thank you.
Funny you should say that. I started feeling really sick.
I said that down
I feel
here,
really ill.
where you are now.
I feel really,
So as you
really
stood on
ill.
the top of the stairs that I walked down a moment ago and said to me I feel really sick, she's now stood there and she's saying she feels sick now too.
Dee wants to know, did King John think that William owed him money for his silence?
Yeah, that was kind of part of the story that was there earlier. It was almost like they then went into this feud because there was a bit of controversy around the money that had been paid, but it was kind of hush-hush at the time.
Julie says, is the name Clara with you? And also, Lynn's getting the year 1724.
You all right?
Is Jasmine okay?
Feeling quite sick, and the K2, when I pointed at her, just went right up. If you see it, it's going right up again now.
Okay. We can only just see it because it's right in the corner.
Yeah, I don't want to get it too close to my phone
Yeah.
because I don't want to have it be the phone doing it. So I'm keeping it as far away as I can. But yeah, it's definitely down those steps. See where I was before? There's definitely a presence there. Oh, Chaz is being sick.
Oh, lovely.
Now I'm going to walk away because otherwise I'll end up being sick too. I'm not very
Sorry, I'm laughing.
Are you all right, Chaz?
I'm so insensitive. I'm sorry.
Should we take off that camera for the moment, Amy?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Should we?
I just depends what people want to see. I mean, I'm open.
Yeah. I've removed Jasmine while she's being sick. Oh, bless her. So, have you got anything to add to that?
So 1724, there's an article I found around Bramber itself and the surrounding area. There's lots of things that were reported around changing like money, changing circumstances, people's welfare changing. There's lots of notes around there. Like most of the dates are just general, but that becomes repeated through this article. So would be relevant to how people felt in the area at the time at least, but not specifically the castle.
Yeah.
Something that's really interesting. A lot of people talked about, I think there were a few mentions of monks earlier. And literally just down the road from the castle is St. Mary's. And St. Mary's was an old Tudor house. And there's a couple of different stories, one of them specifically relating to a mysterious monk who had been lurking around on the Monk's Walk, as it is, which is basically just a walk around the grounds, as it was. And around the back of the house. So there's a definite story around there, which is quite interesting.
Okay.
It's funny you should mention St. Mary's because that's when we were backstage. That was one of the places I said I'd like to do because it's just down the road.
A lot of people are concerned. Is Jasmine okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you.
Yeah, and everyone's telling you to
Sorry.
move well away. Like, so.
Sorry.
Like, no, that's fine.
Happened to me before. That's the first.
And Laura says, I think there was a woman who was pregnant by someone who wanted to keep her quiet.
Oh.
Whatever that is. And also, whatever was affecting Jasmine has been hovering around her since the start. And also, whatever... Oh, hang on, I've got the wrong one. Then is there a Brianna link to the location?
Brianna, I haven't seen.
No. Right. Shell has put, I keep getting the image of a tricorn hat and a man with keys like a jailer.
Mm.
That's actually quite interesting because where we are, we did the obelisk before we obviously came on, and we got jailer
Yeah, we did.
come up on the obelisk.
Right. And also, Kay has got, was the monk called Andrew?
Didn't give him a name, I don't think. Let's go back and find. It did not give him a name. How interesting. Yeah, there's no name associated to the monk. It's just mysterious monk.
That's helpful.
Roy's concerned that Kerry is going to go into trance because it's really behind her.
I can feel it. Literally on my back. but I'm not going to let. Well, Jazz, you know what happened.
It's all right, I'm on it. It's all right.
There's a little Robin that every time me and Jazz come here, just sits and watches us the whole time, and he's just been sat watching us. Jazz just said he was making sure she was all right while she was being sick.
People are concerned there's a lot of things dark at the location.
What do they mean by that?
Well,
Dark entities, dark magic.
Well, a lot of people are going on about rituals and that lot, and this one says, Kerry says, I feel the people are stood around in a circle with a fire in the middle. Something's very dark there.
That's what I get up, because nobody's actually realised what this part is yet, so I'm not going to say. But that's what I get up there. For whatever reason, when we were here before, I said to Dad, I feel like I need to dance round a fire.
Laura's getting the name Francis. And Dee wants to know, is there a connection to Windsor Castle?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know that one, I'm afraid.
I haven't seen a connection to Windsor Castle. We'll continue to look at that. France is a connection as the country France. And there were lots of trips backwards and forwards from people who resided here and then went to France. But the name Francis I haven't seen just yet.
Ants put, was there someone in high authority who was wrongly accused of witchcraft? And getting the number 7 over and over again. Not sure if that's a relevance though. That was from Julie.
Well, when we did the Ouija board, we got the initial D and the number 7.
Yeah.
And that's all we got.
Was it 7 or 8? Because I thought it was D and 8.
Was
It was an 8. Yeah.
Was it 8? Sorry, 8.
Yeah. Roy says you won't clear it, move away. And Shell wants to know, any Irish connections?
I feel really ill. That's why I'm standing over here. I don't really need that.
You might need
Hello,
to get
boss.
Jazz off again.
I'm just standing away from that area because it's not
Okay.
good.
Right, move away from there, Jazz. I've taken Jazz off for a moment because she's feeling quite ill. So when you're ready to come back, let Kerry know and Kerry can tell me. Or give me a thumbs up. Right, people burnt at the stake. Let me phrase that. Any history of witches being burnt there?
I don't know about that myself, but I did say to Jazz again when we came here for the first walk round, I said, I feel like I'm being burnt, but you know when you get that really kind of hot cold, like from the legs up, and I thought, I feel like I'm in a fire. And I said that to Jazz the first time we were here, so I don't know. That'd be something that would need to be looked up.
I need to jump in. Who said Windsor Castle earlier?
D.
Can I just read this out? So there's some stories around there. The family lands were seized. De Browse was outlawed. His wife and sons were imprisoned and starved to death at Windsor Castle. The ghosts of the children returned to their home at Bramber, where they can sometimes be seen today.
Wow.
And begging for food, and we had bread and milk, and I think some of those words came up in the beginning, right? Good job, Dee.
Yeah. Willie's getting Welsh flag in his head for some reason.
Let's have a look. We'll continue to...
Right, is Jasmine okay? Is she okay to come back?
Yeah, she's ready to come back.
Okay.
And I might disappear in a minute because my battery's gone. It's gone from 100 to 1 in this time.
How are you feeling, Jazz? Are you okay, Jasmine?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, it's whenever I get too close to that stair area, I just feel really ill. So I'm kind of trying to stay away from it now.
Yeah, just keep away from it because we don't really want to see you being sick live on. And we've only got 9 minutes.
Sorry, guys.
That's a different type of show. I'm sure no one's.
Yeah.
One who lowers the tone.
Well, this is the area. I'm stood at the top of the steps, so this is the area. So if anyone can pick anything up, and then if anything can pick up anything that Jazz is pointing her camera at, because that is quite a relevant part of where.
Come on.
Sorry, guys, my phone died.
Okay, no worries. Laura's still getting the feeling of women being paraded, white dresses, flowers in air, but I feel it was a negative thing, not positive.
Okay.
Somebody keeps saying close the board as well. Steve said close the board.
K2's going off again.
Okay.
Yeah, we will close the board. We won't leave it open before we go.
No.
We'll close it down.
All boards will be closed anyway. Like, we always close the boards.
Yeah, definitely close it down. Don't worry.
Shell's got bodies piling up.
Yeah, well, that was down there,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
None of you probably heard that, but something that just sounded
Yeah,
like a wolf
Yeah,
Howl.
I just heard that. Really
over the
clearly.
back.
Okay.
I'm just going to see if there's anybody over
I think
there.
there are people, but that wasn't a person. I never heard a person make that noise.
Nikita says, was there a flag hanging where Kerry was before when her phone died?
Kerry says, no, there are no people around the other side now either. And as for the flag, I'm not sure. There may have been a flag there. It's just an empty archway now with some steps. So there could have been. And there are no people here other than us now either. So I don't know what that was.
But we can hear children.
Isabel says, if you take Jazz off screen, we won't know if she needs help. Be careful, Jazz. I can see her personally. If I take Jazz off the screen, I can actually still see her. So don't worry.
And I'm here too.
And yeah, and Kerry's still there as well. So we won't leave her behind or anything.
No, I'll be all right. I trust him.
Yeah, just then we heard what sounded like a wolf howl, which was over sort of where the sun's setting. And then I heard children. I don't know what Jazz heard, but we both heard something. So I've walked round because I know there were people picnicking here before. I told you that one before we came on, and there's nobody here.
Does any of you have a spirit guide of a wolf or anything like that? Out of interest, because it could be there for protection.
I don't have a wolf. I have. I call him Aslan because he's a massive lion.
Okay.
And he's huge, and he's always sort of here with me.
Okay.
But it was over that way. It was quite far away, and it was a howl.
Okay. Julie is getting the name Henry.
Let's see.
I can't believe we've only got 5 minutes. It's gone so quick.
It's flown by.
It really has.
We are now on 7% battery of the last thing that we've got, and that's because the that's drained as well.
I bought a power charger and it's drained my entire charger. It's drained Kerry's phone. It's killed my iPad, and it's done a K2 in since we've been here in an hour.
Bloody hell! Right, and how much have you got? 7%.
Yeah, 7% battery to get me through the next 5 minutes.
We should do it. If not, we'll say bye now, just in case.
Well, we'll be getting ready to round up in a minute anyway. So we'll be saying goodbye very, very shortly. So
we'll close the board quickly then, so you can see that, so people aren't worried that we haven't done it.
Okay. Roy's saying, why am I getting about a mil or being told about? Oh, sorry, Sorry, why am I getting about a mil or being told about a mile?
A mil or a mile? I don't know. Do you?
No, I've not. I don't know anything about that. I mean, it's quite possible that it was, but I can't say it. Not standing there. No, I'm not standing over there.
There aren't any windmills around here.
Not anymore.
Locally,
No, no, not anymore.
I don't know.
I don't know if there maybe was.
No, I don't know.
Laura's going to say Miller earlier as well.
Miller. Possibly then.
What's that?
Someone came up with Miller earlier. So there could have been.
Well, so I'll quickly tell you before we close down then. The mound behind us, that's the original castle, and that's the Motte and Bailey Castle. And the rest was built around it. So obviously when you've got a castle up here on the hill, which is what we are, there's hills, we're literally on the top of a giant hill, you would have had everything you needed inside, wouldn't you? So there would have been a miller, there would have been somebody with their vegetables, there would have been somebody with their meats, there would have been a mini village inside here. So that wouldn't surprise me.
Brilliant. Right.
Trudy mentioned about, just before we go, Trudy mentioned about 6 sticks earlier on.
Okay.
Now, this is quite interesting. It's not 6, but they're basically, Bramber Castle was one of 6 castles, and there were 6 administrative regions. So they basically, each of them was controlled by a castle. So this would be one of 6 castles in that region. So that this number 6 and almost 6 sticks, that there would be, like, if you think about flagpole sticks in that way, there'd be one for each region. So that would be a relevance there.
Or it could mean, would there be wooden castles like the Motte and Bailey's original? They're normally wooden, aren't they? So it could mean made out of wood or something like that. So possibly. Right, I'm going to wrap it up. Right, don't forget to tune in to Trudy Psychic Tarot Kent straight after the show on her page. And next week, it's going to be a bit different because I won't be in the studio. It will be Andy. So I'll be doing an investigation at the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre. So it's going to be a bit different next week. So I want to say thank you, everybody, for joining us. And I want to say thank you to Kerry and Jasmine for doing this, because you have been amazing.
You're welcome. And don't forget, everybody that's watching, if you could give GHT all the likes for the live, that will continue us being able to go and do some more for you.
Absolutely. Right, so thank you, everybody, and see you next week, if not before. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
See yous.